So one of the key parts of this experiment is what is known as a control. You have two different types of controls. You have a positive control and you have a negative control. Now, the way that these two different controls work is, well, it's basically a way of telling if your system that you're working with is functional. So a negative control is an experimental setup where you know the result is not going to work. Whereas a positive control is an experimental setup where you know it's going to work. For instance, if you have a vehicle, if you have a car engine, you know that if you put 87 grade octane into that vehicle's engine, it's going to run. You're going to have those internal combustions, the engine's going to work, okay? That would be a positive control because you've seen that done over and over and over again. A negative control, well, you know that if you put water into that same gasoline engine, it's not going to work at all because that engine does not run on gasoline. So those are your two controls. Those are your boundaries. So basically what you would be doing is you would be asking the question, if I put orange juice into this engine, will it work? You have your positive control, gasoline, you have your negative control, water. You do those two tests before you try putting orange juice into that engine. If your gasoline, the addition of gasoline to that engine works, fantastic, your positive control worked. If you added water to that engine and somehow that worked, well, that would be like, I don't know what my system is doing. It's not supposed to run with this water into it or added to it. And so you'd have to do something to your experimental setup to basically make sure that that water doesn't turn the engine on, okay? Now, you have to confirm a positive control and a negative control anytime you do an experiment, because that's going to tell you your experimental setup is functional. Now you can test what you want to test. I hope that was helpful.